ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। सुमुखश्च एकदन्तश्च कपिलो गजकर्णकः लम्बोदरश्च विकटो विघ्नराजो विनायकः धूमकेतुर्गणाध्यक्षः फालचन्द्रो गजाननः वक्रतुण्डः शूर्पकर्णो हेरम्बः स्कन्धपूर्वजः शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये यस्य द्विरदवक्त्राद्या पारिषद्या परस्ततं विघ्नं निघ्नन्ति सततं विश्वक्सेनं तमाश्रये। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुर्साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय कृष्णाय अक्लिष्टकारिणे नमो वेदान्तवेद्याय गुरवे बुद्धिसाक्षिणे कृष्णद्वैपायनं व्यासं सर्वभूतहिते रतं वेदाभ्यभास्करं वन्दे समाधिनिलयं मुनिं जन्माद्यस्य यतः अन्वयात् इतरतश्च अर्थेषु अभिघ्नः स्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदायः आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत् सूरयः तेजोवारिमृतां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि धर्मः प्रोचिधकैतवोऽत्र परमो निर्भत्सराणां सतां वेद्यं वास्तवम् अत्र वस्तु शिवदं तापत्रयोन्मूलनं श्रीमद्भागवते महामुनिकृते किं वा परैरीश्वरः सद्यो हृदि अवरुध्यतेः अत्र कृतिभिः शुश्रूषुभिः तत्क्षणात् निगमकल्पतरोर्गलितं फलं सुखमुखात् अमृतद्रवसंयुतं पिबत भागवतं रसमालयं मुहुरहो रसिकाः भुवि भावुकाः नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयम् उदीरयेत्। Now with Bhagavan's grace, let us take up where we left off. We came up to Slokam, we covered Slokam 34 in Adhyayam 25 in Skandham 3. Na ekatmatam me pruhyanti kechite mat padaseva abhirata mat igaha yaha anyonyatah bhagavataha prasajya sa bhajayante mama paurushani. So the importance of satsangam is given there in Slokam 34. People, we talked about bhakti, we spent a little bit of time on that, referring to Bhagavad Gita as well as Bhagavatam, because Swami, right off the bat, Kapila Muni says bhakti is what is the most important, right? So for the path of devotion. So we spent some time on that. Now, people who are endowed with such bhakti, they don't even aspire for moksha. Even though Swami said, this is a stage beyond Sukham and Dukkham, which is a moksham, but even they're not interested in that. They are not becoming one with one's own self. So they're not interested in giving up the feeling of separation even. They're not interested, they're not bothered with it. Because they're so delightful and blissful in just serving Bhagavan with that bhakti and working out whatever, consider Bhagavan, I'm an instrument in his hand. So whatever he wants to work through me, that's happening there very beautifully. That's all. And so they assemble together in a group, satsangam. They sing and narrate and listen to and imbibe the stories and glories of Bhagavan and the divine activities and all that. That's yes, the Slokam number 34. Now let's move to 35. Pasyanti te me rujiran yambha santah prasanna vaktraruna lochanani rupani divyani varapradani sakam vacham spruhaniyam vadanti. Pasyanti te me ruchiran yamba santah prasanna vaktraruna lochanani rupani divyani varapradani sakam vacham spruhaniyam vadanti. Now, when I start loving Bhagavan and this bhakti opens up and I love him more and more and more and more and more, what happens? Okay. So very beautifully, Kapila Muni says here, in Slokam 35. Amba means our mother. Says, Te Santaha, those sadhukal who are bhaktas involved, who are now traversing the bhakti path beautifully. My Prasanna Vatra Aruna. Prasanna Vatra Aruna. The face, very beautiful Prasanna Mukham it is. Prasanna Mukham is something that is blooming, that is so joyous and delightful. Does not necessarily have to smile, but the moment it's so calm and equanimity, absolutely impartial, but very beautiful it is. That Prasanna Vatra Aruna, then Prasanna Vatra Aruna Lochanani, then the eyes that are reddish in color. Now, please remember, we have spoken about this several times in our sessions in several topics earlier. This Lohitakshaha in Sahasranamam we say for Bhagavan. And it does not mean it's a bloodshot eye. That's not what it is. Just like a newborn baby, if you look at the edge of the eye, right at the corner, there's a beautiful pinkish color. And that pink color is Aruna. That is the one that the Surya Udayam takes place. The sun is rising right in the beginning. How does the sky first look? That is Aruna. Arunodayam we call it because of that. That's the reason one of the names for Surya is Aruna. Okay. Now, so Aruna Lochanani with that beautiful eyes, beautiful face, Divyani Ruchi Rani Varapradani Rupani. As they become more and more ripe in love for me, right, the beautiful thing takes place. They are able to see, perceive internally with their internal eyes beautifully such a Prasanna Vadanam of myself and the Aruna Lochanani, Lohitaksham, the beautiful eyes with that so attractive reddishness at the edge. So then Divyani, Ruchirani, various divine forms, and then the smell, the fragrance, not through the nose that we have, but the internal nose. You get the divine fragrances. Varapradani, Rupani, various forms they experience. These forms all ready to grant whatever that they want. This is what happened, the various siddhas, we call it, as you go through the spiritual journey, you get more and more divine powers start manifesting from within, right? And those forms, they grant whatever you want, they will give. But you should not get tempted with that because the focus is something else, not to the siddhic power. No. The thing is really Bhagavan's lotus seed. So all these various rupani, pasyanti, they see. They get all these various manifestations of various siddhic powers, divine fragrances, divine rupangal, divine forms that appear, and ready to grant whatever, the powers that they themselves experience. Like they can, sitting here, they can see what is happening on the other side of the wall, for example. They know before some event takes place, they see that event happening. These kind of things happen. All these various powers start manifesting. But then, in addition to that, along with that, these manifestations of various divine powers, Sakam, along with that, Spruhaniyam. Spruhaniyam means something most desirous. Vacham Vatanti. The description, the word spoken about me, that is the most desirous for them. Vacham means speech, words. So that also Vadanti, they speak. They speak only by glories, being involved with me all the time. Pasyanti, te me Ruchirani Amba Santaha Prasanna Vatra Aruna Lochanani Rupani Divyani Varapradani Sakam Vacham Spruhaniyam Vadanti. That is number 35. Then 36. Taihi Darsaniya Vayavaihi Udara Vilasa Asa Ikshita Vama Suktaihi Rutatmanaha कृतप्राणांश्च भक्तिः अनिश्चित्तः मे गतिमन्वी प्रयुङ्क्ते तैः दर्शनीय वयवैः उदार विलास आसैः ईक्षित वामसूक्तैः कृतात्मनः कृतप्राणांश्च भक्तिः अनिच्छतः मे गणिमन्वीं प्रयुङ्क्ते मे गतिम् अन्वीं प्रयुङ्क्ते गतिं not gani gatim anvim that makes sense gatim anvim me gatim anvim prayunkte. Now these various divine forms they are able to experience now in the pathway of bhakti. Darsaniya vayavaihi, various phenomenally attractive forms, something words cannot describe. And darsaniya avayam means your various parts of the body that they're able to see, right? Udara vilasa hasa ikshita vama suktaihi. Udara means something that is very broad, very big, and also quite majestic. And vilasam is quite wide, so very majestic and wide. Hasa ikshita, hasa with a beautiful smile. Ikshita, the vision, the kan parvai, as we say in Tamil. Okay, the vision of the eye that is so attractive. Vamasuktahi means madhura vakugal, madhura words that are very sweet and beneficial words. Vamasuktahi. So these various divine powers that appear in divine forms, various ways, they're all extremely attractive, beautifully attractive in the sense not in a sensual manner. No, beyond the senses it is, right? And how when you go to a Garbhagraham, we see Bhagavan standing there with a prasanna vadanam and a beautiful punnaga, smile. That is beyond the senses, isn't it? It is manoharam. It actually attracts the mind so beautifully. That's a divine attraction. And those forms are all very majestic and expansive and present everywhere. They're always smiling and they're looking at you with tremendous daya and karuna and love. And they speak only sweet words. Very lovingly they speak to you as you progress in the bhakti path. And those taihi, with those forms, various forms that appear before them. So imagine, now I've embarked on the journey. Now I'm loving Bhagavan. I'm giving up all the others. And all these things happen right in me. I experience all this. That these various forms, Hruta Atmanaha, they're all attracting me. They're all pulling me. But Hruta Prananscha, Hruta Atmanaha, they're attracting me, attracting my mind, and Hruta Prananscha, and also attracting my senses, my indriyanga, because the mind is focused, and now so something that I see internally, then that sense is what you said, the internal visions is what Kapila Muni is talking about, not the external eyes, no. The internal vision, the internal eyes, the internal fragrance, the smelling that I have, and the internal hearing that I hear all these beautiful words spoken to me so lovingly. Okay, that internal senses. So they all, with a pranancha, with a atmanaha, my mind is attracted to that. And I'm hearing some extremely sweet divine word, divine music you hear. Ahladam it is called, and that sound comes, Ahlada Dvani, you hear that. So you're attracted to it. That all these things happen, even though they're attracting. Anichittaha api. They are not desirous of it. They don't fall into that trap. Even though they're attractive, they just take it in their stride because they don't desire that. They don't desire the divine fragrance. They don't desire desire this beautiful, phenomenal ahlada dhvani that is so peaceful to hear, so much bliss it gives. They're not desiring of it. Anichitaha api. They don't desire that. Me bhaktihi gatim. Their love towards me. Me bhaktihi gatim. That pathway, their love towards me. Anvim prayunte. Anvim moksham. They are not desirous of it. They're not falling into these traps, but they focus only on loving me. That love itself, anvim, the moksham itself, prayunte, they obtain moksham itself. No, they attain moksham. The bhakti itself grants them the moksham, even though they don't desire it. Taihi darsaniya avayavaihi udara vilasa hasa ikshita vama suktaihi sutatmanaha hrita prananscha bhaktihi anichittaha me gatim anvim prayukte anichataha me gatim anvim prayukte. Number 37. So this is what happens in the bhakti path as Kapila Muni describes. 37. Ataha vibhutim mama maya vinaha tam aiswaryam ashtangam anupravrittam shriyam bhagavati vas pruhayanti bhadram parasya me te asmate tu loke. Ataha vibhutim mama maya vinaha tam aiswaryam ashtangam anupravrittam shriyam bhagavati vas pruhayanti Bhadram parasyamete asmate tu loke. Number 37. Number 37. Ataha vibhutim. Ataha, after that, as this progress is taking place in the pathway of bhakti, so they're tasting, experiencing, getting imbibed in, immersed in love itself, the prema, Bhagavan's selfless love. But then, after that, tam vibhutim, then your experience goes through different awarenesses because the heart is expanding. Subtler and subtler and subtler you experience, right? The various sampathikal, the various resources, everything comes under your contact. Okay? That's what vibhuti is. Bhagavan manifests in various ways. All those anupravrittam, they all automatically follow in the footsteps of bhakti. All the sampathikal follow in the footsteps of bhakti. By themselves they come. You don't desire it. What are those examples? Ashtangam, Ashta Yoga. Maya vinaha mama aiswaryam. This Maya, that is my Maya, which is various aiswaryangal, the resources that you see. Aiswaryam, even including the Maya itself, is the feeling of lordship, the feeling of ruling over somebody, the feeling of controlling something, right? Even that itself is a Maya. That is the ultimate Aiswarya, Maya. So not only materialistic, but non-materialistic aspects of Aiswaryam also. Please, when you say Aiswaryam, don't think immediately money. No. Health is an Aiswaryam, okay? Ability to speak as an Aiswaryam. All these are sampathikal, okay? And so everything, they're all created by Maya only. So first, the automatically following the bhakti, like the way when I go and my shadow follows me, for example, right? And like that. And these things follow, not because I want them, they all come. All the internal the divine powers start manifesting one by one by one. One of them is Ashtanga Yogam. I can do the Ashtanga Yogam, but I'm not interested in that. But those powers manifest. And the various various divine powers, right from Satyalogam, etc., all those things start manifesting. But these people, Maya Vinaha Mama Aiswaryam, the various powers that manifest themselves, the various resources and Shakti and all that, Bhadram Bhagavatim Sriyam Va. Bhadram means Mangalagaram, auspicious, Mangalam. Bhadram Te, Sukham. Okay, that is Bhadram. And where is Bhadram? Where is the most auspicious one? Vaikuntham. In the company of Bhagavan. In the company of Bhagavan, what Bhagavatim Sriyam Va? What type of a Sri, what type of Aiswaryam, what type of wealth and resources? Wealth, not monetary wealth. Again, please don't mistake that. Okay, and the most beneficial things that why beyond even we cannot even imagine what those are like. That is what's available in Vaikuntham. So Bhadram Bhagavatim Sriyam Va. First all the Aiswaryam created by Maya, and then the Aiswaryam, the real Aiswaryam, which is the company of Bhagavan itself in Vaikuntham. Even that. So various divine powers, various Aiswaryam that's created by Maya. Beyond all that, the Aiswaryam of Vaikuntham itself. Exactly what Prahlada says. The Aiswaryam, the Bhagavatim Sriyam Va. Bhadram Bhagavatim Sriyam Va. Bhagavati means Bhagavan. Bhagavans with an apostrophe and an S. Okay? And in Tamil we say Bhagavanudaya. Right? Bhagavanil. And Bhagavan Ser. These are Tamil words. So that Sriyam, the company, keeping the company of Bhagavan, what more Sri that one wants, what more blessing, what more benefit, one can even beneficial thing can happen to anybody. Nothing is possible. Everything is available in Bhagavan's company, including Sukham, including contentment. That's the greatest Aiswaryam that is there in Vaikuntham. Even that, these people, Spruhayanti, Aspruhayanti, they don't desire that. Imagine, because the best desire is not to have a desire. That is if I say, Swami, what is, as Prahlad says, lots to learn. When Prahlad, please visit Prahlada's conversation with Narasimha, okay, one of the most powerful and potent ones for a bhakta, or Sabari for that matter. Listen to what Sabari says, tells Rama. These are the things we can learn from. Says, Swami, no, what desire? He says, what do I want? Please give me a state where I have no desires. That is what he says. Even the desiring Bhagavan itself, they don't want. This is the ultimate, the ripening of bhakti. Okay, bhakti for bhakti's sake, love for love's sake. That's all, nothing else. No transaction. Because Prahlada says, Swami, you tell Narasimha, what you're asking me, what do I want? It's exactly what he says. So Swami asks him, what do you want, Prahlada? Tell me. And very beautifully, he keeps him on his lap and caresses him, such a small child. I'm so happy with you. I've never seen anybody like you. Please tell me what you want. Swami says, Swami, please, why? Why do you want to put me in this Maya? He says, our relationship is not like a barter transaction relationship. He says, it is not the relationship between a master and a servant. Because the master is obliged to give something to the servant. The servant is obliged to give something to the master. No, it is not no transaction. He says, the moment I say I want something, immediately a transaction is involved. He says, no, our relationship is not like that. Prahlada tells Narasimha. Narasimha is so happy. That's the stage he is describing here. Even Vaikuntham, they don't desire. Exactly what Prahlada tells Narasimha. Swami, I don't want Vaikuntham, he says. I don't want it. And that too. But even though they don't desire any of these two, but Parasya me loke, Parasya, the supreme, my, Loke, the Vaikuntha Lokam, the Anubhavam, the experience, the Bhavam of Vaikuntha Lokam. Which is Vaikuntham is right there in my mind, right there. It is not elsewhere up in the sky. No. Very subtle, but right within me. If I turn my mind towards it, I can see it. So that Vaikuntha Loke, they asnuvate, they definitely will attain it. Even though they don't desire it, they will definitely attain it. Is what Kapila Muni says so beautifully. Something that we should do Sashtanga Namaskaram, and with tears pouring out of our eyes and complete humility and vinayam, we must take this teaching from Kapila. Don't desire anything, just love me, that is enough. That love itself will open the pathway. Don't get sidetracked with all these powers that will manifest. Don't get sidetracked. Follow. Just that itself will take you through the Vaikuntha Vasal, right there to the Dwaram to Vaikuntha, even though you don't want it. You may not even think about it, you may not even desire it, because you're thinking only about me. That is the most important, the most precise, the most powerful teaching, so clearly mentioned that we are so blessed even to hear it. Ataha vibhutim mama maya vinah tam aiswaryam ashtangam anupravrittam, following naturally the footsteps of. Okay, they all follow naturally the footsteps of bhakti. Sriyam Bhagavati va means even, asprhayanti bhadram Bhagavatim Sriyam va asprhayanti. That is the English translation. Parasya me te asnuvate tu loke. My loka, me loke, my Vaikuntham, even that they asnuvate, they definitely will attain, even though they don't desire it. They asprhayanti, they don't desire it, they will reach it. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Samasta lokaha Sukhino bhavantu. Samasta lokaha Sukhino bhavantu. Samasta lokaha Sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om.